I mean, you have to share the slide, perhaps.
Now?
Now it's, yeah, you're right. It's visible now. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Over to you. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Rajesh.
Thank you, sir. I'm sorry for the slide delay. I'm going to give a very brief presentation on augmenting teak timber in India, way forward. Chhattisgarh has been traditionally managing its forest areas through silvicultural systems, whereas timber production is not the main intention. We harvest, but it's only silviculturally. Only the corporations manage the plantations commercially in Chhattisgarh. Corporations mainly have teak plantations. If you look at the timber production in Chhattisgarh over the years after the state was formed, you can see that from about 1.5 lakh cubic meter per annum, we have come down to about roughly 70, 80,000, 1 lakh cubic meter per annum. If you look into the production of teak timber every year, it has ranged in the in say about 3 to 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 cubic meters per year, which is quite low. If you look into the timber production in Chhattisgarh Forest Development Corporation, after the state was formed, here also you can see that from about 70 to 80,000 cubic meter per year, it has now come down to 20, 30,000 cubic meter per year. It's mainly teak. There are some other species also, miscellaneous species, but it's mainly teak. So if you compare the area of Forest Development Corporation and Forest Department, the production of teak timber by the corporation is only from a very small area of 1250 square kilometers. Whereas the total production of timber is 25 to 35% of the total timber production of the forest department. I feel the major reason for this is the corporations are much more commercially managed. If you look into the timber market in Chhattisgarh, just like previous eminent speakers have told, the teak is in short supply. For Chhattisgarh businessmen and timber merchants, they prefer to get it from Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, and they import mainly from Africa. But the major question is how to increase the teak production. If you look at the current level of production, the percentage of teak is only 2 to 8% of the total timber production in Chhattisgarh. With a forest cover of about 44%, we don't have much scope for new block plantations of teak, and it is not advisable also. But over the years, for the past say 50, 60 years, in almost all central Indian states, there have been teak plantations from 1950s, 1960s, 70s, 80s, 90s. There have been huge plantations of teak in all these states, and we need to resurvey the existing plantations which are under the forest department, and we have to prepare a plan for commercial management. Many forest divisions have very old teak plantations of varying quality, which have immense potential. I have given the example of only 4 divisions here, which is only indicative, not exhaustive. See, 4 divisions have about 200 sites of old teak plantations covering an area of 9,100 hectares. So if you take the whole state, it will be in 20, 30,000 hectares of pure teak plantations. So we have to identify all these block plantations in the forest department areas, and also consider other plantations which have more than 50% of teak in them, make a database on age and growing stock of the plantations, and hand them over to the corporation as they are. What we are trying now at present, like Rekha ma'am told in the morning, we are trying to get this superior quality tissue culture teak plants from AFGTP. We already ordered this year, and we have started plantation in forest area in about 40 hectares to begin with, because for the first time we are using tissue culture plants in the forest areas. And also we are trying to manage the SSOs and CSOs better, regular collection of superior quality seeds and raising and felling in nurseries. And IFGTB has contributed immensely for agroforestry in Chhattisgarh. I have known personally some progressive farmers who are using the teak seedlings. We are going to expand that program and add more and more farmers in the coming years to increase the teak production in Chhattisgarh. This is in brief about what's happening in Chhattisgarh. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rajesh Kalaje, for your quick but substantial, with some substantial valuable information and sharing thoughts on augmenting teak timber, especially with reference to Chhattisgarh. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
May I now have the privilege of calling upon Mr. O.P. Singh, APCC of Orissa Forest Department, to share his thoughts on prospects of augmenting teak timber especially by Orissa Forest Department.